Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to look at exercise 28.5. With these, let's just talk about it. So we look at number one, it says metastatic carcinoma of the right lung. Okay, we don't know where the cancer came from, correct? So let's just kind of go through that. So if we put in here carcinoma, lung, okay, so here it tells you by site. All right, so we need to go to everyone tab. I hope you have your tab set. Go to the neoplasm table. Look for lung. Okay, so with that, we have metastatic carcinoma of the lung. So that is our malignant primary site, C34.91. Okay, so with that being our primary site, we know that it spread somewhere, the secondary site. And since we don't know where, we are going to code the code C79.9. Okay, so that's just secondary malignant neoplasm. Okay, because again, with the word metastatic, we don't know where it went to. So the same thing, metastatic carcinoma to the brain. All right. With the brain, keep in mind the brain is on our chart. So when the morphology type is not stated, at this point we're going to code to C80, all right, because brain's on there. So that means our primary site is going to be the C80. So let's go ahead in your neoplasm table. Let's go to brain. And the brain is going to be the secondary site here, C7931. And then we're going to have C80.1. Okay, so looking through your problems here, you have to look to see the word metastatic. Where is it going to? Okay, is it primary? Is it secondary? Again, look at how it's worded. And then also look if it's the only site and make sure that it's not off that list that we went through. Okay, all right, let's go ahead and move along onto the PowerPoint. Okay, so with the other ones, we just have sequencing. This is the big thing here I want to talk about is if a patient is admitted for just chemotherapy radiation, you have the principal diagnosis, a Z code. So Z51.0 for radiation, Z51.11 chemotherapy. This is principal diagnosis. Now, if a patient was in the hospital and they had, let's just say, they took out their uterus and they see that they have ovarian cancer. So they ended up doing a Salping oophorectomy too. Okay, and while they're in the hospital, they do chemotherapy. Okay, that means they weren't admitted for chemotherapy. So my principal diagnosis is going to be whatever they got admitted for. Okay, this is for when they do get admitted for chemotherapy. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's get into, we have current malignancy versus personal history. If the primary malignancy has been excised, but further treatment is directed to that site, then it should be used until the treatment's completed. Okay, here's an example. I went in, let's just say somebody went in for breast cancer and they had a bilateral mastectomy. Okay, but they're still being treated even though the breasts are gone. A year later, they're still getting chemotherapy. Okay, so you're going to code it cancer, of the breast as normal. Okay, let's say after a year they're saying, hey, it's gone, you're in remission, we're done treating, we see no more cancer cells. And at that point, then you're going to code the personal history code. The other code that you're going to want to also code is absence. Okay, so you're going to look in the diagnosis section because now also we have the breast is gone. So we're going to put just breast or absence breast, Z91.1, and then it just kind of which breast is a breast and nipple, what part. Okay. All right, so you are going to have some of those codes too, so keep that in mind. Transplanted organs, I'm not going to get into that. Make sure you just read through these. Pleural effusion, follow-up exams. I talked about the absence. So again, history code, absence code. You know, now we're getting to the procedure. We have excision. Chemotherapy is going to be a big one here. Character 6 going to identify what substance was emitted or administered. 7, additional information. Keep in mind that our root operation introduction. So just really go through the book for this section. I think you'll be fine. If anybody has any questions, just make sure you contact me for the neoplasm.